Welcome to Cleveland Clinic's main campus, which is huge, 170 acres, 59 buildings, and nearly 1,300 beds. But it wasn't always this big. Hey, I'm Kyle Miller here at Cleveland Clinic, and I'm going to take you back over 100 years to the very beginning and show you how we've grown, from the first buildings to our newest additions and everything in between. You'll get an insider's look at our past and a sneak peek at what we're working on for the future of healthcare. So let's get this tour started where it all began. This is it, a 4-story building on Euclid and East 93rd that opened its doors in 1921. It was actually a pretty radical new concept in healthcare. Our 4 founders, Drs. Frank Bunce, George Crile, William Lauer, and John Phillips, came back from World War I inspired by the efficiency of battlefield medicine. For them, it was all about teams working together. Their new hospital would be a not-for-profit that employed their doctors, paying them a set salary with all specialties working together with the patient at the center of care. Over a century later, we are still a team of teams. We may grow and our buildings may change, but our focus remains the same. As we've grown, we've definitely built some great new facilities, but you can still see glimpses of Cleveland's past. The Foundation House and the White Mansion were both built over a century ago. The first floor of the Foundation House looks just like it did in the 1900s. We use it for receptions, graduations for medical residents, and some Foundation board meetings. The White Mansion is one of the few remaining mansions on Cleveland's Millionaires Row and home to our Philanthropy Institute and Alumni Relations. Speaking of alumni, did you know we have one of the largest medical training programs in the country? We have nearly 30,000 alumni practicing in 80 countries around the world. Pretty cool how the buildings of the past help prepare us for the future. The first really big wave of new construction here in main campus came in the 80s. The Crile Building was part of a $185 million expansion and the first big building boom here on campus. Designed by Caesar Pelli, Dean of the Yale School of Architecture, it was built to be our signature outpatient building, and for the most part, that's still its function today. It has 12 floors and was the first building to include the purchase and installation of art in its planning. When Crile first opened, so did the Skyway, and boy did the concept catch on. Now they connect most buildings on campus, creating a kind of main street at Cleveland Clinic. And if those are the main streets, our emergency department is the highway for patients who need care right away. And that's why the Maria and Sam Miller Emergency Services Building opened its doors here in 1994. Caregivers in our main emergency department provide 24/7 care in 75 treatment rooms. Patients come from hospitals across our enterprise or even around the world thanks to our critical care transport teams. And in the same building, you'll find 26 operating rooms. That's nearly 1/3 of the total 76 operating rooms on main campus. Another 90s new addition was the Lerner Research Institute, established with a gift from philanthropist Al and Norma Lerner. It's now home to more than 1,500 scientists and support staff. They work in 200 labs to solve problems and accelerate discoveries into new treatments and cures. Speaking of treatments and cures, in 2020, Cleveland Clinic established the Global Center for Pathogen and Human Health Research. It's aimed at expanding our understanding of viral pathogens and human immune response to prepare and protect against future public health threats here and around the world. Plus, a partnership with IBM brings advanced computing on the hybrid cloud, artificial intelligence, and the first private sector on-premise IBM quantum computer. Across the street from the Lerner Research Institute is a BioRepository that opened in 2021. Covering 22,000 square feet, it holds laboratories and 400 freezers to preserve specimens like blood or tissue. The BioRepository is a partnership between Cleveland Clinic and Azenta Life Sciences, and it doubles our capacity to store and analyze biological samples in support of targeted therapeutics development. Think of it as a big library where medical researchers can check out donated samples stored in a secure database for scientific study to better understand how genetics, lifestyle, and environment affect our health. The building is part of the Cleveland Innovation District that expands Cleveland Clinic's research footprint, helping accelerate discoveries and translate breakthroughs in the lab to new treatments for our patients. Another addition during that decade was the Crile Institute with operating and exam rooms, high-tech imaging, and a conference center. It was designed by Caesar Pelli, the same architect who designed the Crile Building. Check out this round lobby resembling the human eye with the skylight as a lens and a marble floor that looks like an iris. Talk about eye-catching. When this building opened in 2000, it was the Taussig Cancer Center. But that's not what the sign says anymore. It has been transformed into the Cleveland Clinic Children's Outpatient Center. It's got everything our smallest patients need for primary and specialty outpatient pediatric care. And because little things can make a big difference, there's an expanded entrance with valet, centralized check-in on the first floor, short-term parking for quick pharmacy pickups, even a cafe with lots of kid-friendly options. Because we all love a good chicken nugget every once in a while. When you think of Cleveland Clinic, you probably picture this iconic building, but it wasn't even part of our campus until 2008. This is the Sydell and Arnold Miller Family Pavilion in Glickman Tower. These buildings represented the most significant expansion in our history and added 1.3 million square feet to main campus. Its distinctive C shape was designed to symbolize the clinic opening its doors to the community, and it has truly become our front door. Right inside that front door is the Patrick McCartan Centennial Gallery. This large-scale interactive wall serves as a digital timeline filled with stories and moments from our over 100-year history. It's a unique centennial project that was developed and championed by the Cleveland Clinic Alumni Association. The Pavilion is home to the Miller Family Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute. Inside, there are 16 operating rooms where surgeons perform almost 7,000 procedures a year, and 288 private rooms designed like hotel rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows to promote healing hospitality. Patients come from all over the world for Cleveland Clinic's program, which has been ranked #1 by U.S. News & World Report since 1995. We are definitely out of this world, and I'm being literal here. Did you know that we did the first echocardiogram in outer space on the 2011 International Space Station? But this is as high as we'll go today, the Kelvin and Eleanor Smith Foundation rooftop terrace. With inspiring views of downtown Cleveland, it's a peaceful retreat for patients, families, and caregivers. When the Heart Center was built, so was this huge caregiver parking garage on 89th Street. You know how we always need parking around here. But beyond its sheer size, what's even more impressive is what's happening underneath. Here it is, the command center for a centralized high-tech supply chain and warehouse infrastructure that serves the entire campus. It includes more than 80 robotic carts guided by magnets under the flooring and traveling about 1,100 miles a day, reducing street congestion and safely transporting everything from medical supplies and oxygen to food and linens to patient floors, 24/7. Now we're back at ground level and in the Great Hall connecting the Miller Pavilion to Glickman Tower. If you're wondering what this enormous blue Berg metal sculpture is all about, here's the inside story. A Spanish artist created this using the measurements of a real iceberg floating under the North Atlantic. It represents what goes on below the surface at Cleveland Clinic. With an average of 14 support personnel for every physician on staff, it takes a lot of interconnected parts to make up one of the largest integrated healthcare systems. So remember that if you ever walk under this blue Berg. And that's just one of the many pieces of art. All over main campus, a diverse collection of contemporary art creates a healing and beautiful environment. Want to learn more? Put in your earbuds and take our self-guided audio art tour. Go through the Great Hall and you're here at the Glickman Urological and Kidney Institute. Although the Glickman Tower began construction more than a year after the Miller family pavilion, both buildings were completed at the same time. The 12-story building has procedure rooms, exam rooms, and a 21-bed dialysis unit offering innovative treatments in urology and nephrology. From the Health Education Center on the first floor to the helipad on the roof, every detail of the 12-story Glickman Tower was designed to improve the patient experience. If you grew up around here, you might remember this building. It used to be the Cleveland Health Museum, but when the museum merged with the Natural History Museum, Cleveland Clinic bought the building and turned it into the Stanley Shalom Zielony Plaza. Here, the Institute for Nursing Excellence oversees the practice and education of nurse caregivers across the Cleveland Clinic enterprise, helping them advance professionally and learn new skills in a fully simulated clinical setting. Recently, the Mount Sinai Health Foundation Simulation and Advanced Skills Center was used to train caregivers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just down the street is another amazing building that is helping to save lives, even though most patients will never step inside. The work done here at the Tomsich Pathology and Laboratory Medicine building touches virtually every patient at Cleveland Clinic, as well as those around the world. The caregivers here process more than 20 million specimens each year, everything from simple blood tests to complex DNA analysis. Thanks to the caregivers working in this building and collaborating with colleagues in Infection Prevention and Lerner Research Institute, Cleveland Clinic was one of the first U.S. medical centers to offer COVID-19 diagnostic testing, including a PCR-based test we developed that received emergency use authorization. Across the street, you'll find this beautiful building. Designed with a focus on creating a healing and holistic environment for patients battling cancer, the new Taussig Cancer Center opened its doors in 2017. The 377,000 square foot, 7-story building includes 128 exam rooms, 98 treatment rooms, and private chemotherapy infusion suites with floor-to-ceiling windows. Using feedback from former patients, the center provides support services like art and music therapy, a wig boutique, wellness center, and spiritual care space with an open design, lighting, and artwork that fill the building with a sense of hope and healing. Did you know that 100% of every gift goes directly to supporting our mission of caring for life, researching for health, and educating those who serve? And here's where the educating part really shines. In 2019, Case Western Reserve University and Cleveland Clinic opened the Health Education Campus to bring more than 2,000 students from the university's medical, dental, and nursing schools, including Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine, together to learn with and from each other. The centerpiece of the 11-acre campus is Samson Pavilion, whose construction was supported by our most successful philanthropic effort to date. The Power of Everyone's Centennial campaign raised nearly $2.6 billion in 10 years for patient care, research, and education at Cleveland Clinic. Samson Pavilion is 477,000 square feet and features a central atrium where students can gather, study, and eat, classrooms, and much more. Technology here is state-of-the-art, including a virtual reality anatomy curriculum, medical simulation center, and flight nursing simulation program. We may be over a century old, but as you can see, we are the future of healthcare and healthcare education. The very first day we opened our doors here in Cleveland to 42 patients. And now each year, around the world, millions of people trust Cleveland Clinic with their care. It all began right here with 4 doctors who had a revolutionary idea to work as a unit and put the patient at the center of care. A commitment that continues today thanks to the hard work of our caregivers and the generosity of our donors. It's that generosity that makes all this growth possible. This is the place where gifts of every size make a difference, and we have big plans for the future here on main campus, including an expanded Crile Institute and a new state-of-the-art Neurological Institute building. I hope you've enjoyed our tour today. We've only touched the tip of the iceberg. No pun intended.